I met Liza about a year ago, and I met her through Ellie, and her and Ellie went to college together. And at the time, I was not in a good place. I was what you would call a state of depression. And she did a clairvoyance reading for me, which was different than the Dharma effect, but she also is gifted with the gift of sight. And she said to me, I don't know if you remember this, but she said to me that you need to do something on a very regular basis, a daily practice, like a 30, 60, 90-day practice. And at the time, I couldn't even get the energy to I don't know, go work out. And I was like, no, I'm over that. I did thrive at 35 2 years ago. I don't want that. And here we are. I've been doing this daily video series called the Daily Neloo. Today is, I think we're close to 80 days. And I called her about 2 weeks ago. I said, Liza, what you said is now happening. I just, at the point when you told me, I wasn't in the safe space to really receive it, but it was in there and you saw it. And then once I was able to move past that energy block, it's flowed. And I love doing this.
Congratulations.
So you can add that to your client wins. So let's talk a little bit about the clairvoyant aspect. How do you, what exactly is clairvoyance for people that don't know?
So clairvoyance is being able to tap into your third eye, your ability to see beyond what's physically available to us.
Right.
And I will say that I guess since I was a young girl, it was an untapped, we all have this different abilities, and clairvoyance was just something that really resonated with me, and over the years I've cultivated it, and one of the things that I found, the reason why I cultivated it is because every time I would meet different people, I would feel this inner excitement in meeting them, and I would just feel within the first seconds to few minutes, 1 to 2 minutes, an amazing energy of potential. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Especially as they're talking about their passions and what they love about life, I would just get these images of how that energy, if that energy and potential was being really harnessed, where it would go. So I was like, okay, this has happened so many times. How do I really channel this energy in a more effective way,
In
so
a
I
more
could serve people?
constructive way. So clairvoyance is this gift of sight that you have to be able to not just see it, but also be able to interpret this information for your clients. Is that part of the Dharma effect, or is that a separate modality?
It's actually a separate modality and separate offer. I do a signature clairvoyant reading, which is looking at your aura. We all have information stored in our aura, and so it's just being able to read and share with you what I'm seeing, which is what basically your higher self is allowing me to see.
Communicating.
Yeah, communicate. Every time it always blows my mind what kind of information comes through. So the other day I was able to connect with a pregnant woman's unborn son, and so she's 7 months pregnant, and the information that came through was just all right, this is what I want to tell my mom, you know. And it was so beautiful. And so it could be that range of okay, what's happening
right now,
or I'll have people ask 2 to 3 questions about other things that are on their mind. It could be, exploring different career paths, exploring love and relationships, even looking at past life, past life experiences and who you were to each other, or what were you in a past life that you have these certain skills, or why do these certain situations keep coming up. And then at the end of this reading, we also have a very special experience in the Akashic Records. So
what is that?
The Akashic Records is like a gigantic storehouse that includes all of your entire soul's journey. And I will say that, you know, the Akashic Records is something that I've unconsciously been visiting since
It's an energetic realm.
It's
But you
in the
can
astral
visually kind
realm
of see it. Okay.
Exactly. And there are a lot of different ways that people go about connecting to the Akashic Records. My way is actually, since I was about 9 years old, I had been visiting the Akashic Records, and I had no idea what I was visiting. It was actually kind of scary.
That was my next question is, are you haunted by any of these visions? But let's finish the
Yeah,
Akashic.
that's great. Well, I was haunted because I would have these dreams as a young kid, and I had no idea where I was going, what I was doing,
was happening,
and it felt like a nightmare, you know.
Yeah.
So for how many years I would have these visits to the Akashic Records, and one day I was maybe around 12 years old. I sat up in my bed, and I just made this contract, this verbal agreement with Spirit, and I said, no more. I don't want to visit this place anymore because I'm scared and I don't know what to do with this information. And so
did Spirit respond? Did you stop having
I stopped. I never visited again. And then when I was 30 years old, I heard the word Akashic Records. I was in a yoga teacher training, and it was just like this sound bite. And I was like, oh, that sounds so, it resonates on a soul level. And
oddly familiar.
Yeah, very familiar. And I did this, I cultivated my clairvoyance in a training, and there was only about a half-hour portion in this whole year training that we talked about Akashic Records. But it resonated so deeply. So I found my own way to visit the Akashic Records. And so
in a way that felt non-threatening to you.
Non-threatening, and is very actually colorful and very sweet.
Like a pleasant experience.
Yeah, and so when I do the signature clairvoyant aura reading with clients, we cap it off with an experience of the Akashic Records, and it is just such a phenomenal experience that everyone who tries it
loves it.
Exactly. It's just mind.
I mean, who doesn't want to go to the warehouse of all their past lives? That just sounds like there's so many gems in there.